I just don't know how much playing time he's going to get, and if he does, how effective. But you're right. Anytime Rex Grossman is better than anybody at doing anything, something's seriously wrong.
Well, you're mid-season now in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, you're making this move right
Literally.
now, and that's it. I would definitely dump McNabb. There's no sense in keeping him on your roster. He's not going to play anymore, I don't think. If he does, it's not going to be productive because he wants out of there.
Cooley's been hurt most of the time, even if he plays. Cooley's not always 100%. Their best receivers, Moss, no.
Yeah.
I mean, things just don't look real promising.
Now, if you're in a deep league, though, and you have McNabb as like your backup quarterback, and there's really no one else to grab, don't just drop him to drop him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You need a backup. So, but don't. Geez, if you have him in as your starter, you are in big trouble if you don't have AP, Calvin Johnson, and Roddy White to soften the blow a little bit. So I don't rely on McNabb, but don't just dump him flat out if you're in a deep league and there's really nobody available.
Yeah, their schedule's looking rough though too.
After
the bye, they got Philly, and then they have Tennessee.
Oh, brutal!
Yeah, I would just drop him.
Yeah, in fact, I was looking straight.
And then Minnesota. I mean, if you. Yeah,
pick up Derek Anderson.
It's not good.
When you straight the schedule, I was looking yesterday, and in fact, they were, I think, third worst coming up. So yeah, you're right, Adam. It's not looking real rosy for the Washington quarterback.
And he's already banged up anyway. He's always on the injury report.
Always.
529-1450, 529-1450. Still plenty of time to take your phone calls and your questions, but let's go ahead and get into our studs, duds, and sleepers while we have a chance.
Yeah.
But give us a ring at 529-1450 if you don't like one of our studs, duds, or sleepers. All right, Mark, who do you got this week? Defense and tight ends.
Tight ends, let's start with him. Tony Gonzalez is a stud tight end. He's averaged 4 receptions per game, but last year went off for 12 catches for 113 yards. He always seems to do well against Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay's in the bottom third as far as defending tight ends. Dud tight end, John Carlson. I keep ripping on this guy because he's basically an afterthought for Seattle. They used to go to him a few years ago. Now it's not going to happen, and now you have Charlie Whitehurst starting ahead of Hasselbeck.
We didn't mention that. Hasselbeck.
Yeah, no Hasselbeck.
Concussion, no play.
You can forget about Carlson this week.
Well, maybe Chuck will throw it to him.
You never know. Sleeper tight end, Randy McMichael. That's an easy one. If Gates doesn't play, it's a must pick up if you're looking for a tight end. I mean, the guy's experienced. He's had success in the past years. Nice pickup. Stud defensive team, the Giants. I mean, they're just looking great. You can go Giants and Tennessee almost every week in this position. Solid defense. Playing Seattle again with Whitehurst at quarterback. As they say at ESPN, come on, man.
They're going to eat him alive.
I think so, too. That's not going to be pretty. Dud defense, Dallas. Well, Dallas is a dud almost every position now. It's a shame. You got one. And first thing, do you wonder if the Cowboys' hearts are going to be in playing the games from here on out?
Roy Williams thinks they're going to run the table.
Well, good Roy Williams. Well, consider the source there. And then they have to play Green Bay to boot. Not a good week. Sleeper, Arizona. Yeah, I know. They're on the road, which usually means bad things. But hey, these guys, this defense has had 6 TDs, and with firing.
Really?
Well, yeah, they've got 6 TDs. And
I guess somebody has to score in Arizona.
And they're in the top 10 in scoring.
And look, they've got
blows
Favre.
my mind.
They're playing Minnesota. Favre fires these stray bullets left and right all the time. He's got no receiving core. Who knows what he's going to do? So this might be a nice, if you're looking for a defense, Arizona might not be a bad choice.
Nice.
529-1450 is the phone number, 529-1450. Yeah, I like the Arizona sleeper for sure, Mark. All right, Eric, you got running backs and quarterbacks, correct?
Yeah, pulled double duty with Nick being gone. So we'll start with quarterbacks. My stud is the number 1 quarterback in the league fantasy-wise this year, even though he has no wide receivers. Phillip Rivers at Houston. This guy's incredible.
It doesn't matter if he has no receivers, Eric. Doesn't matter. The guy gets it done.
He's incredible. In that same game, my dud on the other end, Matt Schaub. San Diego's got one of the top defenses in the league against both the pass and the rush to go along with their top offense, yet they can't win games. But Matt Schaub is going to have a lot of trouble moving the ball on the San Diego team. So, and he's kind of been off all year for some reason. So I try to leave Matt Schaub on my bench this week if you can. My sleeper pick, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Where is it? In Canada against Chicago.
That's right. In Toronto this week.
Yeah, in Toronto. So, Fitzpatrick's been terrific. Absolutely terrific.
Last week was his worst week, and he didn't do all that bad last week. Prior to that, he was, statistically the best over the last 6-week period.
And he got me, he was on my bench, scored, I think, 20 points on, last week, even with kind of an off game. So Ryan Fitzpatrick is a decent play. and with quite a few buys, not a bad guy to pick up and maybe plug in.
And Eric, with Fitzgerald doing good, that brings in Lee Evans into the mix.
Oh, no. No. Don't do that.
I know.
Don't do that.
Well, since you brought it up, we're at wide receivers now, right?
Running backs.
Oh, you still got... Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I got to do running backs. No, you can go wide receivers if you want to.
We'll come back to running backs. How about that?
Yeah, I like it. You go.
Wide receivers this week. We've already talked about it, but I think he will be a stud this week. Patrick Creighton in San Diego. He's got to throw to someone, and as you just said, Rivers is putting up the numbers. The numbers got to go to somebody. I think it's going to be Pat Creighton this week. Also like Reggie Wayne as a stud this week. My sleeper is Deshaun Jackson. He's been banged up a little bit, but I think he is back and going to be a factor this week in the Eagles game. And my dud this week, could be wrong on this one, but I think Miles Austin is going to be a dud this week. Again, it goes back to Mark saying whether they're going to play with heart or not. It also goes back to John Kitten as the quarterback.
I want to just
and they're playing Green Bay's defense.
pat myself on the back. Who thought John Kitten was going to be good last week? Raise your hand.
You did.
Okay. Who was right?
Eric was right.
Okay.
Eric was right. Kitten has stunk it up. Don't put him on your roster. Don't play him even one week.
Dallas is just bad. I mean, Dallas is just bad. And if Kitten was a starter, he'd be starting.
But you know what? The thing with Kitten also, he was bad, but he had help from his receivers. A couple balls went right through the hands.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, I mean, granted, he didn't play his best, but if he could have had a little help.
Dallas is brutal.
That's the 1-6 record.
If that team, all that team had the enthusiasm and heart of Des Bryant, it'd be a lot better off. Des Bryant,
incredible,
that kid's in there. He's ready to play.
He's the only one playing football in Dallas.
He really
right now.
is.
They need some cojones down there.
Absolutely.
I think. And I think Wade Phillips has got to go.
Oh, he's done.
Jerry Jones, he runs this ship the way he does for all these years. And it comes to a 1-6 season. Why doesn't he just be the old Jerry Jones and be like, hey, Wade Phillips, hey, Jason Garrett, gone, both of you. How about that?
After all Parcells did for that organization to turn him around.
Jerry Jones still has connections. He could fill those slots in a heartbeat.
Easily.
Offer Bill Cower a boatload of money.
Yeah.
Stay out of the way, and your team will be successful
like a quarter of a billion.
Sell that big screen TV you got. And get Bill Cower in there.
That's the biggest TV I've ever seen.
Cower's the type of guy right now that the Cowboys absolutely need in the worst way.
I think you can fit Wrigley Field in that TV.
Yeah, maybe they should.
529-1450 is the phone number. Look a lot better.
Yeah. Running backs?
Running backs.
Oh. My stud running back this week, I love AP against Arizona. Also, keep an eye on LaDainian Tomlinson at Detroit. That's a big one. And Matt Forte at Buffalo. Those guys should all have nice weeks. My dud, pains me to say, Ray Rice. This guy's killing me this year, but,
I got him in 2 leagues.
Miami, these last couple of weeks have been shutting down the run altogether. I mean, they held Pittsburgh to basically nothing. And now, Ray Rice kind of having an off year. Playing against I'm scared. I'm scared of Ray Rice this week. But my sleepers, I have Tashard Choice down at Green Bay. So, Mark, you brought that up earlier, and I'm glad you said something. But Tashard Choice might get quite a few touches. Just keep your eye on that situation. And my other sleeper is, he shouldn't be a sleeper, but he is because he hasn't been performing like we're used to. But Michael Turner against Tampa Bay. I think Michael Turner's going to go crazy this week. So get him on your starting lineup.
In fact, on Peterson and Turner, first with Peterson, the Cardinals over the last 4 games have given up 132 yards a game and scored to running backs. So Peterson should just go nuts. And Tampa Bay is giving up the 4th most fantasy points a game to running backs over the last 4. So again, Turner's a nice call also.
Yeah, I say I like Turner at the start of the show. I think that's a good play, and I think all your studs are correct at the running back position because, I hope they are. I have a lot of those guys, but unfortunately, I also have Ray Rice. But yeah, it's just been an off year. Definitely a top 5 guy in almost every single draft that we saw, and maybe arguably one of the biggest disappointments this year.
Absolutely. Last year, Ray Rice averaged over 5 yards a carry. This year, it is at 4 even. And that's just, that's just not good. I think he's got 2 touchdowns on the year. They both came in the same game. He's not catching near as many passes, and he hasn't been hurt. You know what I mean? There's no excuse for it. There's no reason.
He's been LT'd.
Yeah.
And I think with Rice and maybe Sean Green, those are the 2 running backs that have really killed owners more this year so far than anyone else.
Cedric Benson maybe too.
Yeah, possibly. One 100-yard game, Cedric Benson. And other